Everyone knows that terrible feeling when you drop a glass or plate and it smashes. Thankfully, those accidents normally only cost around $10 to fix. But just imagine how you would feel if you destroyed priceless art by accident. Well, that's exactly what happened to the people in these videos. From artworks to priceless pieces of history being destroyed. Selfie Disaster. We all know the struggle of getting that perfect selfie. But one day a woman took her selfie composition a little bit too seriously, and ended up destroying $200,000 worth of art. This took place at the 14th Factory Art Exhibition in Los Angeles, California. This is a non-profit and very famous art exhibition. On the 14th of June 2017, a woman went to this gallery. She entered one of the gallery's main rooms. This had various pieces of expensive art on plinths. On the plinths were crowns made of gold, silver, and marble. Some of the pieces were even made out of real meteorite stones. The woman was naturally fascinated by this, and decided to take a selfie. While she was trying to get her composition right, she stumbled backwards. This led to a domino effect as many of the plinths fell down. One of the gallery workers who witnessed this put his arms up in despair. Next time you think you messed up, just remember this clip. However unlucky you got, it can't be as bad as this woman. Priceless clock. This video comes from the National Watch and Clock Museum in Columbia, Pennsylvania. An elderly couple were fascinated by a priceless, large clock hanging on the wall. They took a picture of the clock, but that wasn't enough for them. The man ignored a big "Do Not Touch" sign, and instead touched the priceless clock. As soon as he does this, the clock falls off the wall and smashes on the floor. The husband and wife try to hang the clock back on the wall, but it's beyond repair. Eventually they give up and simply lean the clock up against the wall. The clock was made from various, very complicated parts, and no one knew exactly how to put it back together. After the incident, the Watch and Clock Museum tweeted saying, "This is why we beg you not to touch things in museums." They shared a YouTube link to the CCTV footage shaming the couple. Last remaining phonograph. This mishap was not just caught on camera, but broadcast live on TV. It comes from an episode of the Tech Talk Techathon. One of the guests is showing a one-of-the-kind phonograph created by Thomas Edison himself. A phonograph was one of the first ways that sound was ever recorded. The guest begins by saying it's a one-of-a-kind piece and there's nothing like it in the world.
So this is a one-of-a-kind piece. There's no other one like this particular one in the world.
Just as he's showing off Edison's phonograph tube, it breaks live on TV.
It's really cool because it records much more accurately than... Oh my God.
Well, that does happen every once in a while. That can't be good. Now, are you done with that then?
Yeah, I'm done with that.
All right.
You may think that's bad, but it gets even worse when you find out what the phonograph tube had on it. Contained inside it was the only copy of Thomas Edison talking to President Benjamin Harrison in 1889. The host, Chris Pirillo, tries to keep calm and says this does happen every once in a while. But in reality this does not, as it was a priceless one-of-a-kind. This happened because the tube was in the cold outdoors, but it was then brought into a very hot studio. The change in temperature caused the tube to become brittle and break into pieces. Glass sculpture. Just imagine if you were at a museum with your kids and they started breaking priceless artwork. In most situations, parents would pull their kids away and punish them. But that is the exact opposite of what this parent did. In 2014, two kids crossed the dividing rope and began destroying a sculpture. They pulled and tugged on the glass sculpture, breaking it. But shockingly, the parents did not even try to stop them. Instead, they took photos of their kids destroying the sculpture. This took place at the Shanghai Museum of Glass in China. The piece by Shelley Zhu was called Angel is Waiting. Turns out the angel was waiting for two kids to come along and destroy it. The artist spent more than 2 years making this, all from glass. She also dedicated the piece to her newborn daughter, but sadly her newborn daughter will never get to see it. That's because these two kids destroyed it in front of their parents. The damaged sculpture is still displayed at the museum, and next to it is a screen which plays the CCTV of it being destroyed on a loop. This is a good way to remind museum goers to make sure their kids are behaving themselves. Painting puncher. We've all been there. We were about to fall over but then grabbed something to stop ourselves. This is normally something like a hand railing, but one small boy unfortunately stopped himself tripping over by grabbing a $1.5 million painting. This happened in Taiwan. Unfortunately, the painting was very fragile and the kid's fist went right through it. The kid saved his can of soda, but in the process ruined a $1.5 million painting. The painting was from the 1600s and was very rare. It was one of the few paintings by Paulo Pepora that he actually signed. Funny to think it survived hundreds of years, only for one clumsy boy with a soda to destroy it. Statue hugger. This one takes place at a wedding reception. It shows a child attempting to hug a piece of artwork. This happened in June of 2018 at the Tomahawk Ridge Community Center in Overland Park, Kansas. The statue Aphrodite de Kansas City was created by Bill Lyons, and it was worth $132,000. When the child tried to hug the statue, it fell over and broke. Now, the kid was clearly unsupervised, but in the YouTube comments of this video, many people blamed the kid himself and not the parents. The woman's mother said it's clear accidents happen and this was an accident. But who do you think was in the wrong here? The distracted parents, the curious kid, or the community center for not securing the artwork properly? $1 million vase. Most of the damage in these videos are a result of accidents, but this one is no accident, and it ended with the guy responsible being arrested. In 2014, one Florida man was arrested. This was for deliberately smashing a $1 million vase. The vase was made by the artist Ai Weiwei. Maximo Caminero was charged with criminal mischief. In the footage, museum staff can be told telling him to stop, but he drops the vase on the floor and it smashes into many pieces. The vases which had been painted were over 5,000 years old, but after just a few months of them being in Miami, they were destroyed by Maximo. Sandcastle. This one is a piece of sand art. It is a castle made of sand. I don't mean a sand castle like you may have made when you were a kid on the beach. No, this work of art was meant to resemble Hogwarts Castle from Harry Potter. It took the man 17 days to make, but that's when a reporter doing a story on the castle fell on it.
Increíble la puertecita que hay con un niño. Paqui.
She destroyed a fairly large portion of the castle. The sand artist seemed calm on the surface, but I bet secretly he was incredibly annoyed. At one point the reporter says maybe I can help you fix it, but that's when even her own cameraman tells her to leave the guy alone. Some people just don't know when to stop. Ice sculpture. This is very similar to the previous clip we just saw, only this time it's with ice art instead of sand. A reporter is doing a story at an ice sculpting competition. The artist he's talking to says he spent 8 hours doing this sculpture, but when the reporter goes in for a closer look, he makes a big mistake and knocks it over.
So there'll be some other pieces that are recognizable.
Now, can I take a closer look at this? Because why is this your oh my God. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Dude, are you serious?
I'm so sorry. It was just an accident.
Camera equipment.
We'll talk to management.
I'm shutting it down. I'm tired of guys like this. I'm out of here.
We'll get this taken care of.
It even seems like the reporter laughs as he destroys this guy's work. The artist, James Marshall, was rightly annoyed and stormed off. I think it's safe to say if you're making any sculpture, do not let reporters go anywhere near it. But now it's time to make your voice heard. Comment down below, what's the most ways? Thanks for watching. There are some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.